everybody? A new game day shirt has officially been unlocked. Yes, that is right. I got the white gear on. We are ready for the whiteout this weekend at Jordan-Hare, South Alabama. It's going to be a fun time. Cannot wait for that. However, in today's video, or at least in this first video today, we are going to be reacting to the SEC games that were played this past weekend. We're going to react to them. Then coming up shortly, we will have SEC predictions as well. We'll have AHSAA predictions, and then we will play our Vanderbilt Dynasty to close out the week. However, if you are new to the channel, you already know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, turn that bell on as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Peacemaker, episode number 4 was an absolute banger of an episode, and I cannot wait for what happens next. The ending was a cliffhanger, obviously. They are teasing what's about to happen in episode 5. James Gunn has come out and said pretty much that there are some crazy cameos that are about to happen in this show. So stay tuned. 5, 6, and 7 are going to be cameo filled. I cannot wait for it. Next week is going to be an absolute banger. Can't believe they are making us wait a full week until Peacemaker episode number 5, but I cannot wait for it regardless. Obviously, during football season, it's kind of hard to keep up with it, but we will talk about it here periodically on the channel. However, like I said, we have SEC reactions to go ahead and get into, and without further ado, let us go ahead and hop into it right now. Alright, so the first game on Saturday was San Jose State going into Texas. Texas struggled in that first half a little bit, I thought. I thought they were a little slow from the get-go. Obviously, they did score 14 and 14 in that first and second quarter, but I thought Arch Manning looked a little bit slow, and it looked like he was playing injured. Obviously, Texas isn't going to come out and say, yes, Arch Manning is injured, but it did look like that he was playing a little bit injured. Arch Manning, 10 of 16, of course, or 18 of 30, rather, not 16. I don't know where I got that number from. 256, 4 touchdown passes on the day. Not a terrible day at the office for Arch against a FCS level team. Good little bounce back game for Texas. However, I don't think they're going to be as good as people hype them up to be in the SEC. That's just me, but hey, I could be wrong. We shall see once conference play comes, though, what Arch Manning and Texas is going to look like. Right now, they did play Ohio State week number 1. We'll give them a little bit of leeway there, but going into conference play, they got to start getting prepped for every single week, and we will see how Arch Manning deals with that here shortly in the next couple of weeks. Next game up, we had South Carolina State, going into Willie B and South Carolina. Lenore Sellers, 11 of 19, 128 yards, 1 touchdown. I believe he got taken out of the game in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken, which is why they did not score any points. So, again, South Carolina getting the job done. They move on to 2-0 after an impressive showing last weekend. Now, this weekend is going to be a real test with Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt coming to town, and we shall see what's going to happen here when we predict this matchup coming in the next video. So stay tuned for that right there. Next game up, of course, we had Austin Peay going into Georgia, and Georgia struggled with Austin Peay, dude. They had 1 touchdown in every quarter, which did lead to 28 points or so, but they did not look good at all, especially in that first half. The offense was very slow. Yes, I know they had to change up the start time and everything like that, but the offense looked a little slow, and I'm very skeptical about this Georgia offense. This Georgia offense is not what it is going to be used to be. Gunnar Stockton, 28 of 34, 277 yards. Did have a couple of touchdown passes with Frazier, the running back, also scoring a couple of touchdowns. However, this Georgia offense is not what it used to be, and quite frankly, I don't think they're really going to be a threat in the SEC come conference play. We'll see this weekend, though, as they take on Tennessee in the opener. Next game up, of course, we had the absolute banger of a game. Ole Miss going into Kentucky to open up conference play. Kentucky always giving Ole Miss a little bit of a shootout there. Kentucky always giving Ole Miss a little bit of problems whenever they play each other. We know what happened last year with Lane Kiffin and Jackson Dart losing to Ole Miss at home, which did eliminate them from the college football playoff. Can Ole Miss getting the job done, though, this time behind Simmons, and it looks like that, again, Lane Kiffin and company have been moving on from the Jackson Dart era at Ole Miss. They're looking for their freshman wide receiver, Caleb Cunningham, who has a 5-star, to make a huge impact. So far, he has done that, and they look really, really good offensively, and they are definitely going to be one of the offensive teams here in the SEC by far. Ole Miss getting the job done on the road in Kentucky. Should have been expected. Zach Calzada no longer the starter at Kentucky, but we shall see what happens with the Wildcats there. Next game up, we had Kansas going into Missouri. This game was a banger. It obviously was a very wonky little game. Kansas going up big time at the end of the first, second quarter. Missouri coming back, tying this game up for the most part. Then it was a close game up until the end of the game, and Missouri ran away with it thanks to the defense and the running back for Missouri. Roberts made a huge play there at the end of the game to give Missouri the win over Kansas. A rivalry has officially been renewed. That was a banger of a game. Watched a little bit of it. It was awesome, and I'm just glad that it is back for college football as Missouri gets the job done there, looking like they're going to be a decent team here in SEC conference play to look out for in the near future. East Tennessee State going into Tennessee. Tennessee absolutely demolishing them like expected. They got the job done. Tennessee, Joey Aguilar looks really good. 288 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day. Not a bad day for him at the office as they have to prep for Georgia as well. So we'll see what Joey Aguilar can do against a really good defensive team here in the next week, and that'll give us a good test on to where Tennessee is at. But right now, they get the job done. They are 2-0 on the season and definitely have a shot to make it back to the college football playoff. Arkansas State going into Arkansas. This was one of the games where I was keeping my eye on a little bit. Obviously, Arkansas State did not get the job done, but this is like what's going to happen this weekend between South Alabama and, of course, Auburn, where 2 in-state teams are going to play each other, and one may have a chip on their shoulder. Now, again, Arkansas did get the job done, but they did, of course, struggle there in that second and third quarter. And I think that if Arkansas State would have put a couple points on the board, they would have made this game a game. However, Arkansas gets the job done. They improved to 2-0, and Sam Pittman's job for now is secured. I know that was a lot of talk in the offseason between Arkansas fans, but they do ultimately get the job done and move on to 2-0 on the year. Moving on, we have Utah State going into A&M. A&M getting the job done as usual. Marcel Reed, 18 of 28, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns. Not a bad day at the office for him. I'm very interested to watch this Texas A&M squad in conference play, and I'm very interested to watch them this weekend because this is a good test for them with Miami coming up, going into SEC play, right? Very intrigued by this A&M offense. They have ballers all across the field, but how is the coaching staff going to handle this, right? How's Mike Elko going to handle these young talents here for Texas A&M? We shall see within the next coming weeks. They're going to be an interesting team to watch in SEC play. Moving on, we had Auburn defeating Ball State 42-3 as expected. Jackson Arnold, 51 yards, 3 touchdown passes. Jeremiah Cobb, 2 touchdown passes. I thought Arnold struggled a little bit in the first quarter, especially early on, where he did have that almost fumble right there. But other than that, played a flawless game, and the Auburn Tigers do improve to 2-0 and are now ranked thanks to Baylor beating SMU. That game was a huge momentum shift for the Auburn Tigers. Again, I will be in Auburn for this weekend's game on Saturday, so going to be a fun matchup there, and can't wait for that. Now, let us talk about the 3 banger games that happened this weekend. Arizona State, Mississippi State, we'll get to in a second. However, let us start off with South Florida going into Gainesville and beating South Florida. Byron Brown looks to be the truth, ladies and gentlemen. And I actually pulled a couple of his number cards when I opened some Bowman Chrome boxes. If you guys don't know, I do sports card stuff on the side a little bit. So I'm banking on Byron Brown. Right now, he is the Heisman Trophy favorite, which is absolutely crazy right now. 263 yards, 1 touchdown on the day. Florida did not look good at all. The defense did not look good. I thought DJ Lagway did play a little bit of a solid game for the most part, but the defense did not help Florida at all as South Florida got the job done on the road. Absolutely wild in Gainesville. Fire Napier chants were happening. However, the AD of Florida did say that they are sticking with Napier throughout the 2025 season. So that's going to be very interesting to watch as South Florida gets the upset in Gainesville and has a chance to beat Miami this weekend. Going to be a fun one. Arizona State going into Mississippi State. That was another banger, which we will talk about. Mississippi State getting the job done thanks to their offense. Blake Shapen getting the job done. The quarterback, transfer quarterback, obviously Mississippi State has been put in a terrible situation. Their first ranked win against a ranked opponent since 1997, I believe. Absolutely wild as Mississippi State improves to 2-0. Yes, you heard that correctly. They are 2-0 on the year. This is why we love college football, because anything can happen. Sam Levet did struggle in that game, so again, not too shocking that Mississippi State took advantage of that, went down the field on that final possession or so, and drove into the end zone thanks to their wide receiver, whose name I cannot think of off the top of my head, getting the job done at home against Arizona. They stormed the field. Absolutely crazy as Mississippi State does get the win at home against Arizona State. And to wrap week number 2 up, put it all in a bow, I guess you would say. Michigan going into Oklahoma. A banger to close us out on Saturday night. College Game Day's location, where they were this weekend, obviously very intriguing game. Bryce Underwood versus John Mateer. John Mateer, a lot of talk about the offseason stuff with his Venmo transaction and everything. However, 270 yards, 1 passing touchdown on the day. Did a really good job when it came to distributing the ball to his playmakers. Bryce Underwood did struggle a little bit, which shows why they only scored 13 points. And in the first half, he was not playing good at all. So, again, Michigan falling to Oklahoma on the road as Oklahoma looks to be a legit contender here in SEC 2025. So I cannot wait for that, as Oklahoma is going to be a legit contender in the SEC for this season. But you guys, let me know your thoughts on all of these games in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Thank you all so much for watching this one. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one.